Gabriel Andrade from the Liberal Arts Department here at the College of the Marshall Islands. Today I'll be joined by Markus Pukonen. He's a visitor from Canada who just got here on a boat coming in from Hawaii, and he's attempting to do a traversy around the world without any motor vehicles. Hello Markus, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Where did you get off from and how did you get here?
Where did I get off from?
Yes.
Where did I start?
Exactly.
I started this journey in Toronto about 16 months ago, and I've got here by many different modes of unmotorized transport, including canoeing, kayaking, skiing, tricycling, bicycling, hand cycling, rafting, pogo sticking.
Okay. Are you trying to make an ideological point by doing this, or?
I'm not necessarily trying to make a specific point, but it's fairly obvious that I'm proving that we can get places without the use of fossil fuels. And the main, I'd say, purpose of the journey is to support the movement towards a more sustainable planet. So along the route, I'm communicating and connecting up with local nonprofit organizations who are creating positive change and raising support for them.
Okay, let's talk about the last part of your trip, which, as I understand, you're coming in from Hawaii.
Yes.
What was that like, and how long did that trip take?
So I was on a 30-foot sailboat, and I left Honolulu, and it took me 21 days to get here. And that was the first time that I had ever sailed solo on the ocean before, so it was quite scary at first. I was pretty nervous. But most of the reason why I was nervous wasn't being out on the ocean, because I did have quite a bit of experience out on the ocean. I knew that was like. It was actually more the part of just leaving land without using a motor and also getting into the atoll here. Boats are pretty safe generally out on the ocean. It's when they get close to land that they run into troubles.
Really? Why is that?
Because land is hard, and boats don't like holes.
Okay.
So, water, they're made to float, right?
Yes, of course.
So land sort of stops them from floating.
Okay, now...
So that's where you run into the biggest troubles. There is the risk of running into a storm out in the middle of the ocean, but even then, most of the boats these days are made to withstand hurricanes.
Well, as you're probably aware, the Marshall Islands are a threatened nation because of global warming, because the sea levels are rising. So I imagine that in the surrounding areas, the waves can be pretty high. Was that the case?
It depends on what you mean by that. There's big waves anywhere on the ocean, really. Here specifically, if there's a big storm, then you'll get big swells and big waves. But generally, it's just like anywhere else necessarily on the ocean. It's all dependent on specific storm systems, whether you get really big waves. But you do have coral reefs surrounding the island, so that's obviously an issue for a boat. You want to be really careful about not running onto those.
Right. Do people like you have a contingency plan, like in the sense, in the case that, the boat sinks, what are you supposed to do? How do you ask for help? Or
absolutely,
do you have a life vest and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I go into anything that I do as prepared as I can be and have backup plans, emergency plans. On the sailboat, I have an emergency life raft. But all those things come secondary to just being smart at sea. So you have a contingency plan, you have these backup plans, but you never want to actually use them. You want to be smart enough and make the right decisions to avoid ever having to use them. But if everything goes wrong, if you run into a hurricane, the boat can fall apart, in which case I have an EPIRB, which is an emergency position indicating rescue beacon, life vests, of course, but a life vest isn't really going to save your life.
But you should still wear it, or is it
depends.
pointless to wear it?
If you're close to land, it could potentially save your life if somebody's close to rescue you. But if I was out in the middle of the ocean wearing a life vest and I fell overboard, I'm the life vest isn't going to save my life.
Well, yeah.
I'm months away from anything.
Yeah,
you know, the life vest is not going to save my life. It's better to actually wear a harness that actually like attaches myself to the boat.
Okay.
And I do that quite a bit, especially in rough seas or when I need both hands to do something. But even then, the harness can get in the way and actually be more dangerous. So I use it when I need to, but not at other times.
What do you eat?
I eat a lot of dried food and dehydrated food. I mean, I bring fresh food for the first week or two. Sometimes stuff will last longer than that, like up to 3 weeks. But yeah.
Do you fish?
I do fish.
Yes.
Yes. I caught my first nice tuna coming over from San Francisco to Hawaii.
Okay.
It was about 40 pounds. It was delicious.
Were you able to eat it all, or do some parts get lost?
We ate most of it. I mean, we feasted for 3 days. There was 2 of us at the time on that crossing, and yeah, I mean, we ate the majority of it. We tried not to waste any. We made soup stock. We fried it. We ate sashimi. We made tacos. You know, you name it. We made everything possible that you could with tuna. But yeah, that's part of the reason why I didn't fish much coming over from Hawaii, is because I thought I might end up wasting some fish.
All right. Are there any legal issues with your trip? I mean, these are international waters, but do you require a license to go to enter into one state, or does your boat require to have a particular flag? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, at any new country that I come into, I'm supposed to go through immigrations and customs. So coming into a new port, you fly a yellow flag, which is the international flag for quarantine.
Okay.
So you're supposed to not basically stay away from people on land until you clear customs or immigration.
Okay. Psychologically, what goes on in your head when you're in the middle of the sea all by yourself? I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, we human beings are used to engage in conversation. This is about 21 days just all to yourself. What goes on through your mind?
Lots of things. You know, I'd say a consistent thought is one of gratitude. I'm really grateful to be alive and doing what I love on this planet, and to have the support of my community. And so I do think about the people who are worrying about me back on land quite a bit. And
are you able to communicate with them?
I'm able to communicate with a couple people just by text when need be, but it's not really reliable, not really fast, so I generally don't rely on that. But yeah, that's a big thought. I think a lot about how small we are, how small I am, how small we are in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I mean, like over here in the city, it's not so easy to have those thoughts. But, you know, I suppose in the middle of the ocean, by looking at the sky and seeing all the stars and, you know, feeling so little.
Yeah, and just being out on the ocean and just appreciating how much of a water planet we live on. And, you know, the vast majority of this planet is out in the ocean. And the vast majority of people are afraid to go out on it, which is fascinating.
Right.
You know.
What's your next stop?
Next stop, I'm heading through Micronesia.
From Micronesia. Chuk or Yap?
Kostrad, Pohnpei, Chuk, Yap, Palau, Philippines.
When do you think you'll make it back to Canada? I mean, you've been on sea for 16 months already. So will it take you 16 more?
Well, it took me 8 months to get across Canada. So it took me 25 days to go from San Francisco to Hawaii, another 21 days from Hawaii here. And I'll be heading back on land in Hong Kong, leaving the boat behind. And I expect it will take me another 4 or 5 years.
You're also taking with you some cameras.
Yeah, I'm filming.
Are you producing? Yes. Do you plan on doing a final version of a documentary film?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will there be an ideological point in the documentary as well?
That's for you to discover.
All right, very well said. No spoilers, right? All right. Markus, we've run out of time, but thank you so much for having coming over here, and I hope great success in the continuation of your trip.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
It's great
so
to be
much.
here.
And thank you for having watched this video, and I hope I'll see you some next time.